So I'll now declare the meeting open at 6:30. So, Council, we now have 8 speakers who've asked to address Council tonight in public forum. Councillors, we're now going to move to Councillor Garrard's notice of motion, 356. I have 2 speakers on that notice of motion. The first one is Mr. Tony Houhilas, is that correct? Houhilas?
Good evening, councillors and Madam Mayor, and thank you for the opportunity to address and support the motion of urgent request for traffic data. This is a serious matter of community safety. I think we've just heard an issue there that relates to this as well, and quality of life that we expect as residents. As I said, my name's Tony Houhilas and I've been a resident of Lidcombe for 25 years, and I've seen the growth of truck movements that are putting residents, commuters and pedestrians at increasing risk of accidents, personal injury and damage to roads and property. The health and well-being and safety of our community is being threatened by proposals such as the Church Street proposal for a waste transfer facility. This facility will deal with organic waste, including dewatered sewage, nappies.
Councillors have to leave if we're going to discuss the DA. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to clarify, this facility is dealing with organic waste, but it includes dewatered sewage, nappies, sanitary pads and manure. Read the statement of environmental impact. It's all in there. This facility is proposed to operate Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. How are people going to get to work? Saturdays 8 till 6 p.m. It will see 118 truck movements per day. This is a threat to community safety. 118 truck movements, 20-metre long trucks, huge trucks. Death and damage to property by trucks has been publicised in recent times, illustrating that cars and trucks do not mix. Recent media headlines include pedestrian dies after being hit by a truck, rolled truck spills toxic glue across road, semi-trailer was unoccupied when it careered into a home, a driver has died after a serious truck and car crash. Transport for New South Wales data from Towards Zero report indicates that in the period 2018 to 2022, there was 261 fatalities from heavy truck crashes, 52 people killed per year. In New South Wales, 52 people too many. We need evidence and data to understand our roads and the potential risks for the community. I believe our roads have not been designed to accommodate trucks now and into the future. Examples of this include Church Street is currently gridlocked with 24 trucks parked illegally. It appears council is powerless to move them despite issuing fines. Further, the rail bridge or the rail underpass in Church Street is also a major concern, not wide enough for trucks to pass each other. Potentially another Granville disaster.
Sir, I need an extension of time, councillors. Move Councillor Zeta, seconded Councillor Saha. All those in favour? Declare that carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Potentially another Granville disaster waiting to happen. Streets such as Burnie and Bashall are gridlocked in peak hours. Cement trucks, seafood trucks, meat trucks, milk trucks, all using our suburban streets already. Now, we need evidence and data to understand the tonnage of trucks and the road network's carrying capacity. We need current data and we need to understand future use and capacity. I commend the motion to Council read the urgent request for traffic data to fill its community obligation and strategic goals to support community health and wellbeing. Data and evidence on truck movements, current and future, is required to make our community safe so that we can mitigate against the serious consequence of doing nothing at the cost of lives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions for Mr Houhilas? No? Then I'll call Ms Lisa Wong. Ms Wong, thank you.
Are you talking about a notice of motion about traffic?
Can you stop arguing with the community? Let the community speak.
Thank you, councillors. Thanks, Ms Wong. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Lisa. I've lived in Lidcombe for over 30 years and I've really watched this suburb grow. We have so many more high-rises and houses that have 2 dwellings built on them now that the Lidcombe community has really exploded with the population. Worries are that these trucks will frequent the waste plant, as Tony said, 16 hours a day. And I've read some of the DA and the DA 2023/013 traffic assessment document. It says that delivery food truck movements in and out will be 94 trucks per day. Material taken off site is 24 truck movements per day. That equals 118 extra trucks on Lidcombe suburban streets. The trucks are 20 metres in length, so that's an extra 118 20-metre trucks using Lidcombe streets to access the waste plant. Streets were designed in 1860 around. Although these roads have been maintained, they're not really wide enough. When the cars are parked on either side of the roads, barely 2 cars can pass each other, let alone a truck and a car or 2 trucks. Although there are 2 schools, many childcare centres, a nursing home, main railway line, and as I mentioned before, many residents and high-rises already built and popping up around Lidcombe. This already increases the population of people driving our roads and walking our streets. Trucks have many blind spots. The front of the truck, there's about 20% blind spot. The sides, it's about 40%. Behind, it's 60%. With all the extra trucks on our streets, there's bound to be an accident waiting to happen. You may say it might be just 1 or 2 people, but this person may be your grandmother, your grandfather, your mother, your father, your child, your wife, your husband. Is that really a risk worth taking? I was driving behind a trip truck going up Railway Street earlier this week and turning off into Church Street. And as Tony mentioned, there's a railway bridge there, which you need to drive under and then quickly navigate a bend straight away. The truck was driving under the bridge, around the bend, so quick it was dangerous. I thought it would hit the bridge, or if there's a car coming the other way, there would be definitely an accident. Just to finish up, I want to quote from the Environmental Impact Statement proposal on page 40. It's not just food waste this organic waste transfer will be receiving. It is written manure, night soil, animal waste, disposable nappies, incontinence pads, sanitary napkins and other items. So I want you all to just imagine yourself.
Excuse me, Ms Wong. Moved and seconded. All those in favour? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Declare that carried. Thanks, Ms Wong.
Thank you. So I want you to just sit there, just to imagine in your mind, sitting outside on your balcony in your backyard, enjoying a beautiful day and outside, and all you can smell is shit from the waste plant. How enjoyable. No, thank you.
Thank you, Ms Wong. Any questions? Councillor Christou has a question.
Ms Wong, I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to come and address Council tonight. This is a very serious issue. No, stop trying to shut me down, Councillor Saha. It's very important to the community. We've allowed thank yous before. I'd like to thank you for coming tonight. I know it's a very important issue to the community and traffic concerns around trucks. And I will state before I'm shut down, and because it does need to be heard, when Councillor Hughes, Councillor Garrard and this side of the chamber tried to raise this as a matter of urgency, we were shut down by those opposite, and we're with you tonight. We're firmly behind you all tonight. Thank you very much.
We will remember. Thank you.
I have a question, Madam Mayor. I have a question.
Thank you. Ms Wong, there's some further questions. If you could please come back to the lectern. Thank you. Councillor Saha has a question.
Ms. Wong, myself and my other councillor colleagues were listening to you carefully as well, and we are making notes as well, so your voice are heard. And thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
I will ask that we confine our comments to questions. Councillor Wong.
That hasn't been the norm before,
No, that is-
so stop trying to change the rules tonight.
No,
We have
that
a full
is-
gallery.
That is the rule.
Councillor Wong.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Stop trying to change the rules tonight because you've set precedent before.
No, that's the rule. You can ask questions.
Councillor
Councillor
Wong.
Saha, you've set precedents before.
Councillor Wong. Councillor Wong, did you wish to ask
Yes.
a question of Ms Wong?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Ms Wong, I'm sorry. If you could please return to the lectern. Thank you. Yes,
Sorry, Ms.
Councillor
Wong. Thank you for coming tonight. I just want to, say, how honoured we are to have you guys here tonight addressing the council. And I just want to say thank you and really appreciate it that you can come tonight and representing the community. Thank you.
So why didn't you allow debate last week?
Thank you, councillors. I think we'll move on now. We have 4 more speakers who wish to talk about the issue of community concern, which is the issue of the evening. Mrs. Man Xiu. Is Mrs. Xiu here? Thank you, Mrs. Xiu. So now we are moving into a direct discussion of a development application that's currently before the planning panel, and that's DA 2023-0130. Now, I will caution councillors about the discussion surrounding this development application. Whilst, of course, we are here to listen to our community tonight to talk about the DA and their concerns, I do note that if at some point we wish to have a consideration about these concerns, because of our code of conduct, it will be necessary for us to go into closed council. So if you have some questions that you wish to ask, please bear in mind that those questions should be confined to the comments made from the lectern and not deviate into other matters which should be properly the subject of closed council. Thank you, Mrs. Yu. You can start. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, my English is not good enough.
That's not a problem.
Sorry. My name is Man Xiu. I'm residential of the Lidcombe, and because the DA at the Church Street, Lidcombe, is very near my house, just 3 minutes walk from my house. And now they build a lot of apartment and little roundabout in front of my house. Every day I go to work, I just can't go 2 ways. I just can go around, then go to my work. It's very hard for me and take a long time. And the other things, if the DA approve, then the smelling, the crocodile, the rat will come to my house, and the health for our kids, and they got I think 2 or 3 childcare near my house. So the traffic will be busy, the kids will be no safety. Even now, the whole apartment didn't have everybody living, but the street is very busy. We can't go cross the road. And that's my speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody who wishes to ask Mrs. Yu a question? Thank you, Mrs. Yu. You can take your seat. Mr. Zigi He. Mr. He, hello. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Good evening. I'm honored to be here speak for representing the Lidcombe community as we express the objection to building the disposal site because we are concerned it will generate a negative impact towards our community. As the building of the disposal site significantly deteriorates surrounding residents' living conditions, as it's increasing the volume of noise pollution, causing difficulty traveling on roads, and the possibility causing disease related to unhygienic effects. Lidcombe was famous for the home of holding Olympics. Every resident here wants to keep this beautiful image and extend fuller as we can. We're against the building of the new disposal site to protect our beautiful home and make sure our voice gets to hear. I would like to share my personal experience, how I get involved with here. One day I was passing by Lidcombe station and I would just see people, they was holding the sign like this and give a big shout out to Miss Joy. And I say, what's going on here? And Mrs. Joy say, we are giving a protest. I say, what? Because I've been to Lidcombe station many times. I have never seen residents here is so united against for something. And I was asking, oh wow, how every resident here can see this as a serious event. So we built out this artwork. It's a little I think it's a child from kindergarten, primary school. Even that little kids realize, oh yeah, this thing is gonna impact our daily lives. So we gotta take it so serious. We will try our best to make sure our rights get to use. And you see, there's even say it will be harder to concentrate off school because of the air. See, so that in fact will be in fact our every single moment in our life. So thank you.
Any questions for Mr. He? Thank you, Mr. He. You can take a seat. Miss Charley Tien. Miss Tien, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I have been a Lidcombe resident for 8 years till now. So one of my major concerns I have with regards to the proposed rubbish site is the potential for severe air and water pollution, especially due to the possible inclusion of toxic waste. Such waste can have serious implications for both the environment and the public health. The frequent exposure to such waste can pose a direct threat to physical and mental well-being of the residents and commuters in the vicinity of the central area of Lidcombe. Lidcombe's central area is already burdened with considerable traffic congestion, allowing large trucks that continuously enter and exit the rubbish site, which is 7 minutes per trip from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Monday to Friday, plus long hours on Saturday and Sunday will undoubtedly and intolerably worsen the situation. The presence of these large rubbish trucks will impede the flow of traffic on already congested roads. I've been there for over 8 years, and I know how these roads are congested, leading to increased delays and safety risks for many commuters, residents, and pedestrians. Furthermore, the large rubbish trucks can stop in the middle of the road due to traffic at peak times, will inevitably contribute to heightened pollution levels and posing additional health hazards to our residents and passers-by. The safety of children and elderly in particular will be at greater risk due to hazardous road conditions created by the increased traffic congestion. Moreover, the developer's report fails to take into account any traffic problems beyond 100 to 200 meters radius of the proposed rubbish site. With the expected surge in the residents due to the recent construction of the new complex and apartments along Lidcombe railway station, the traffic situation will undoubtedly undergo a profound transformation. Therefore, our council should and must take into account the future circumstances after the apartments being built and focus on improving the current traffic congestions rather than exacerbating them with the almost 24/7 non-stopping influx of giant rubbish trucks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tien. Does anybody wish to ask Ms. Tien a question? No, then I'll turn to Mr. Simon Kochicof. Mr. Kochicof. Thank you.
Councilman and ladies.
The proposed rubbish site is in close proximity to essentially community facilities such as restaurants, schools, parks, medical centre, childcare centres and aged care facility. This should raise serious concerns. The increased traffic from large garbage trucks traversing through residential areas for extended periods from Monday to Sunday would subject residents and pedestrians to intolerable levels of air and noise pollution, significantly compromising their well-being and safety. The DA has failed to address the potential impact on the recently constructed apartments near the proposed rubbish site. Noise pollution from the operations of the rubbish centre can significantly impair the quality of life of the residents living in these apartments. It can result in sleep deprivation, heightened stress levels, and overall diminished sense of well-being. Also, the offering of the FOGO, which is the Food and Gardening Organic Services by the developer, as a perceived benefit is rendered redundant by the fact that our city has yet to implement FOGO services. The proposed service that are presently unavailable to local residents does not justify the construction of a rubbish site in Lidcombe. It is of utmost importance to prioritise the immediate needs and concerns of the community before entertaining speculative benefits that may not materialise in the foreseeable future. The proposed rubbish site is incongruent with the long-term development of objectives of Lidcombe. While the land in concern may have historically been intended for industrial purposes, the state government and council decision to develop the adjacent vacant land into a high-density residential neighbourhood signifies a clear shift in planning priorities. The inclusion of an industrial site within the area that now predominantly consists of residential and commercial developments is not in harmony with the current context and fails to support the overarching vision of the community of Lidcombe. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Kochicof. I don't believe we have any questions. That's fine. Thank you. I might just ask if Councillor Elmore and Councillor Hammett can be invited back into the chamber.